Okay, so we're gonna do a meadow inspired makeup look today. I just wanna like paint something on Bob Ross style, I guess. I did like a meadow look the other day, I think yesterday even. Which I liked, so I'm gonna kind of use that as inspiration. But that one was a bit 3D but 2D. This time I want to make it a bit more scenic, hopefully with some dimension. If I can't achieve that, we'll make it a bit flat, but I'm hoping we can get to that level. I'm already gonna get some wipes out because I know it's gonna be a bit of a messy process today. Yeah, but let's get into it. I'm just gonna start building a canvas. I just use like the back of a palette or something. I'm gonna take some sunset makeup, white foundation. I'm almost out, sadly, so we'll see how much longer I can stretch it. And then I also have their pink pigment, which we will be using today. It's a little staining, but it is a pigment, so makes sense. Take a little bit of red. I took too much yesterday. Take less. Can always get more. And then I'll take a little bit of yellow. Maybe even a bit more yellow. Keep it a bit more bright today. Then I have a green, and I don't actually have these are all liquid shades. But I actually don't have a blue liquid right now. So I'm gonna just use eyeshadows for that. Which is fine. I'm fine with like a green undertoned water. I think it will look fine. If it's already a really green look, the water probably with the reflections looks green. So yeah, I think that's fine. And then yesterday I outlined with blue. I'm gonna use it again. It blends in well later, so you don't really have to worry about harsh lines. And let's do general shape. Today I wanted to go over my eye a bit more. Maybe something like that for one side, and then I'm gonna have it go down the neck a bit to have it. Okay, and I'm just gonna gently sketch in where I kind of want there to be some like skyline almost. Keep in mind this shape is just super rough, like we don't actually have to follow that. So I'm gonna have it be the edge of the water. Actually, I kind of want it to combine with my eye. It's gonna be like there. And this will be a layer of flowers. And then this is gonna be the edge of water. But they will also have like flower ground kind of getting built in as well. So this will be the water, and then we'll have it kind of fade out. And then like here we'll have more foreground, and then we'll try to make it a bit smaller back here. We'll see. That's the plan though. Just gonna start with some green just to get it around the skin here. I'm actually gonna take some foundation just as like a mixing shade tone. We should kind of have something in common with each other. I'll take like a concealer brush, something like that. So I'm mixing the green in with the foundation shade. And then I'm going to blotch in just building it up, and then I'll throw it here as well. Okay. I'm now going to just mix in a little bit of yellow and more foundation. And then now adding a little bit more yellow and foundation. And I'm going to put that as the kind of background sky that will build the flowers and stuff onto later. We might even add another hill if we want, but we'll see how we feel. Okay. Okay, and now we're gonna take some brush like this, and I think I'm gonna go in with the eyeshadows now. Actually, I'm gonna take an even thinner brush because this is a bit of a more detailed look than yesterday. So I'm gonna take this random blue eyeshadow before I go in with my other shades from a different palette. Kind of mix and match with what you got, you know. So I'm gonna take this dark blue, and I'm just gonna start adding texture of water. And I also, for water, I like to go deeper close. And you're gonna do little lines. These ones can be longer, more together. And then you can kind of get them more apart, skinnier, a little less as you build up. And I do a lot of layers, so you can kind of just build it up and make changes as you go. Right now, I also just kind of want to make sure there's some blue tone in the mix, for the water at least. Okay. I'm going to go in with some different tones now. I'm going to go back in with the cream products, I think, actually, or liquid products. And I'm going to do some of the yellow, some yellow with some red, and then some of the foundation. And we're just going to kind of add that as highlights, little lines. And just kind of keep building that texture up. Oop. For me, keeping most of the highlights kind of in the mid upper region. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of pink. Mixing with the shade we previously used. I'll also be using these tones for the flowers. I'm going to throw the pink kind of over here because we're going to have some reflection in the water. Okay. Then we'll take a little bit of green. And I'm actually mixing the pink tones with some of the greens to make a bit of a gray. And I'm going to add that for a little bit more depth and mixture. And you can see it's kind of splotchy. We're going to kind of set it with powder now again, layering more powders. And then we'll go in with more highlights, so it will make sense as we go. So with that brush, I'm going to take a little bit of some purple and I'm in a different mirror now. And you can kind of just stretch the other shades. Because I'm doing water as like a slanted texture, I'm gonna make the flowers very rounded, and I'm hoping that helps them look very like distinguished from each other. I'm actually gonna go in with a little bit of baby blue and a little bit of like a light turquoise blue now. Going to try to like highlight the blue tone a little bit in here. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna pause there for a little bit. I'm gonna do some of the flowers. I want to really build up the texture, so I think I'm gonna do the same brush still. I'm gonna start with some white foundation mixed with a little bit of pink. And we're just gonna start adding the texture of a flower at the tree line here, or the water line, ground line. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of pink now. I'm trying to get a little bit smaller with the dots the further away you go. Okay, and now we're gonna get some magenta. I'm gonna get some red. Just adding some clouds. Keeping the highlight mostly on top. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue. Okay, I'm also gonna get these gold drops and go back to the water now. It's going in between the textures, letting them like dry between. And okay, I'm gonna take some gold, take some green. So gold. Okay. So again, we're just gonna add the lined textures. And we're now kind of working highlights in, which should help with the water texture. So you can see we're slowly building the dimension up. Not sure how it's going to look at the end, but I'm hoping it's going to be cool. Yeah, okay, so now we got the green. We're going to add that, but with some pink shades mixed in. Just a little bit on the highlight zone in the middle here. I might even end up not doing this side because it's going to take me longer than I thought. But I think it will still look cool with just one eye done. Yep. So I'm not even taking a pause on that. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm going to only put glitter on the water, I've decided, because I really want to keep that texture clear. We are now going to go in with just some pretty much pure yellow. I'm going to mix a little bit of foundation with it because this yellow is quite bright. I'm going to put a little bit, oops, I need to do more. I'm going to place this kind of in the center of some of the flowers up in the front. And more. And then you're going to get a little bit smaller with it the further out you move. But you still want to make sure you have, I'm going to take a little bit more yellow, enough product that you can just kind of plunk it on top. So I'm just going to take a little bit more, mix in a little foundation, just because I want the tone to be a little bit less. So I'm going to load the brush up a fair amount. And then do a little in here. Yeah, we're going to kind of like fade this out later, like into the foundation. Something like that. We'll see. I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to the sky. Wish I had a better brush. We'll just use this one. I'm gonna use quite a light blue. I'll do more highlights, but we'll start with that. Just start kind of tapping it in. Okay. Go back in with some white foundation for the clouds again, because I realized the sky was a little too green for my liking, at least. We're almost out. That's okay. Take a little bit of the product off this brush. It's a little green. I do want the highlights to be a little bit more white. Just gonna look in my where is it? Okay, hold on. Really building up the cloud fluffiness by tapping on okay. Now we're gonna add a little bit of highlights to the water because we're already working with the white foundation. Just adding lines of highlight. Yeah, it is makeup as a painting. I'm trying to do like a flower meadow, but it's taking me a while to get the textures I want. So I don't know. We're trying though. Okay. Hmm. I think we're getting somewhere. I think I need to go in with a darker tone again. Actually, do a little bit of bright orange eyeshadow. just to kind of like put the flower reflection in. And maybe some like magenta. Okay, and I'm also gonna add some magenta pink pigment. Okay, slow and steady, I think. I'm gonna add more texture to the flowers and then come back to the water and sky and stuff. I'm gonna go in with some orange. Okay, and I'm gonna take some magenta. I'm just gonna add some purple to the front flowers. I need some like dimension differences, I think. Ooh, I don't know what you think. I feel like it's like kind of muddy over here. Okay, now I'm gonna add some green and a bit more depth at the front. Okay. And we're gonna add more white foundation. So I want some more highlights on the flowers now. So yeah. Take a small brush like this now. I think this is helping with the dimension of the flowers because now you can kind of see the water, maybe. Okay. I'm gonna do some foundation, see what it looks like when I do the rest of the face. I'm gonna take this off because it's already been what, an hour, almost an hour, and I've only done this side, and this is a way bigger surface area. So Let's see. Okay. Actually, I'm already changing my mind. I want to add more yellow dots. So we're going to do that quickly. Just because this little brush is good for that. Okay. Let's do foundation now. Okay. I'm just going to kind of pull on the edges. So it's kind of like becoming part of the face. You could make the edges darker, make it like pop out. I kind of like it like being part of the skin. Something like that. I think I'm gonna even add like a little tree just to add some foreground depth because, yeah, anyways, I want to finish the foundation quickly. Make sure to get the forehead. No. That was such a stupid mistake. I'm used to doing my foundation. That's alright. It's honestly mostly the flowers which weren't that hard to do. So I'm just gonna quickly fix that up. Add a little bit of dimension back in here. I'll probably end up putting more white back in there just because I kind of messed it up just now, but that's the vibe of it anyways. Okay. Let's do that again because I totally just threw my thing and messed that up. I'm actually so sad. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. I kind of have a new technique anyways for the flowers, so let's just work that in. Ooh, no more red foundation apparently. Hello. There we go. More pink. Got a little green left. I'll get a little bit more yellow maybe. Actually, let's see how we do. I'm gonna just take some okay. So I'm just gonna add just adding the dimensions back up. Okay, then I'm gonna add some more. Okay. Now I'm gonna take some pink. Okay. Get a bit of yellow. Okay. And let's do a little bit more white foundation because I messed that up. Okay, I think I saved it. That was annoying. Okay. Try to think the best way to do a tree, like a bush or something. Actually, I got some water activated liner. Hoping that will show up enough. I'm gonna use a dark brown. Just to see what it looks like. Hopefully this looks okay. Okay. I may add like a little bit of accents of some in the background. One more. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take a little bit of the pink and just tap it over the base. Okay. And now okay. Okay, and a little bit more on the clouds. I think I'm going to call it there. Okay. And I'm going to powder my face down, which I should have done sooner, but it is what it is. Okay. And I think we should do some blush. I think we'll do maybe pink mascara to match the flowers. And then I'll probably just throw a little bit of like, I don't know. Let's do a little bit of neutral brown to start. Maybe just something like that. Keep it pretty basic. Maybe I'll just tap on like a tiny bit of blue glitter. But most of the focus is going to be on like this side of the face. So yeah. And then I'm going to add a little bit of blush to my cheeks. Oh my god. Don't stab yourself in the eye. I like this blush. Okay. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more pink. Okay, I feel like that's cool. Yeah, okay. And I'm just gonna do some pretty basic lipstick. Actually, what I like to do with a look like this is to line my waterline. It just helps the eye pop out when it's a lot going on. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I'm also going to add a little bit of orange to it for fun. And then maybe even a little bit of the yellow. I don't love that. I'm just going to add a little bit of cloud. I don't exactly know how I'm going to style everything today, but okay, sorry. Okay, go take pictures. Thank you for watching. This is a good tutorial, except I messed up, but it just shows how easy it is to correct. I'll post the good pictures on my Instagram and hopefully maybe some shorts on here. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. And let me know any look recommendations. I'd love to hear any suggestions. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you again, and see ya.